What's up, guys? I hope all is well with everybody today. Today's video is going to be a little bit different than normal, but before I get started with all that, I just want to thank everybody that's gotten involved with the giveaway. I've gotten a bunch of really nice emails from some great dudes, and I appreciate all that. Putting together the giveaway was fun, and just some of the reactions and just some of the really nice things people had to say in the emails was fantastic. So shout out to all you guys. I probably also will be sending out a few extra of my photographs and doing some random giveaway stuff, as well as just sending out the grand prize. But we will deal with that later. But keep sending in your emails and at least get a chance to get that pile of loot. So thank you guys for everything. Your kind words more than anything, honestly. This one is going to be about the 1992-1993 Blue Jays. We'll do kind of a celebration in cards here. I know it's a little bit of a niche thing. Not everybody was around and loving that situation, but it's a big part of my story. It's a big part of my baseball story and my baseball card story. When I was young, those teams were something I predicted that they would win those World Series with my friends. And, at the time, it was kind of a big deal when they pulled it off. And, of course, culminating in Joe Carter's home run in '93. And just, amazing stuff. And just rooting for those teams. And the Phillies, Blue Jays '93 World Series will always be my favorite World Series, period. It doesn't even matter who it is. The 15-14 game will always be my favorite World Series game. Of course, the Blue Jays came out on top, but it was absolutely amazing. And I loved the Phillies. I mean, Dykstra and Dalton and Mitch the Wild Thing Williams. Yeah, I loved that team as well. It was super fun. All the cast of characters, John Kruk, I loved all those guys. But I loved my Blue Jays. I kind of had adopted them early in '92, and kind of saying early on that they would win both of those World Series, way before the playoffs and stuff, and it ended up working out, and no one was rooting for them harder than me. I remember being in my living room, and I had the cone head on for David Cone pitching, and my sister would make up a cone and put like the Ghostbusters cross out thing with, crossing out cone, rooting against me, and just jumping around the living room and having fun with all that was just amazing. So those Blue Jays teams mean a lot to me, and I'll always remember it till the day I die. But that's what this video is going to kind of be about. Hopefully you can enjoy it and get something out of this, celebration of cards of these teams, even if they weren't someone you were rooting for back then, or if you weren't even alive then, who knows. But Shane, Shoebox Legends, knows this is coming, and I know he's been looking forward to this for a while, but I kept having a card get lost in the mail that I was trying to get in before I filmed this. A lot of this stuff I've had for a long time. Some of it is stuff I've picked up recently, but it's all in celebration of those teams, and I look back on it with such fondness. Hopefully Josh Peeps will watch and enjoy this video as well. I know there's a few of them, but before we get started real quick, so 1991, that was the first year I really got involved in just going crazy, celebrating World Series, watching every pitch, all that kind of stuff. And it was the first ever time two worst to first teams that ever met in the World Series. The Braves and the Twins went worst to first, and it was just a miracle. And I went for the Twins, and then you got the 10-inning Jack Morris game against Smoltz, which will always be, to me, the best World Series game ever pitched. I know we got Don Larson and all that, but this right here is something I made in '91 for that World Series. So it's just kind of a cloth. I painted the M on there, and I waved this around like a rally towel in my living room in 1991. Cheered the Twins on to victory. So '91 was the first time I really got into stuff like that, and really being vested in the games and not just a kind of a casual fan or just an Astro, local guy kind of fan. So I had made that. So in 1992 comes along with the Blue Jays. They get to the World Series, and I made this. So if you can see that, this has a big long stick. It's a flag I made of the champions. Now, it didn't say the years on there. So after they won, I put that 92. The next year, they got all the way back. When they won it, I added the 93. So I had this flag waving in my living room as a child or a teenager before the 93. This was for the 92, and then I added the 93 after that and completed this flag with both championships. So that was just super, super cool. Absolutely love this. I'm with all the moves and everything crazy that's happened in my life since this time, I'm shocked that I still have this. But I wanted to show that, and I showed the Twins just to show you kind of the genesis of doing this kind of thing. But this was a flag I made specifically for the 92 World Series, and then on to the 93. But as far as cards, there's a lot of cards, and this isn't everything ever made, guys, but it's the stuff that I have, and it's a lot of my favorite stuff. So I'll show you the cards that I have related to these teams, just to kind of reminisce and look back on those times. Now, there's a lot of things back then before the internet and stuff that we didn't know about here. A lot of Canadian issues, because obviously they were the Blue Jays. So this one here is a set by Dempster's, and you can see the championship logo up there. And it's all fully licensed, real deal logos, all that kind of stuff. But it's a 25 card set. The cool thing is these are numbered on the front, 6 of 25, that kind of thing. But you got Guzman, Alomar, he was the man. I mean, he was the man. Cox, Molitor, awesome, I love Molly. Stottlemyre, Joe Carter. Now this is all celebrating the 92 World Series. Jack Morris, who they got after that Twins World Series, they said they want to win one, and they did. And they won 2. Ed Sprague, Turner Ward. So these are fantastic on the back as well, I'll show you. But you got Olerud, who's going for the batting championship, trying to hit 400 in 93. Dwayne Ward, Griffin, Gaston, the manager, Stewart, Eichhorn, Leiter, Knorr, Darnell Coles, Hintgen, White, Warriors, Darren Jackson, Schofield, Soho, and Timlin. So it's a pretty cool set. I think it's a really quality set. The backs of these are great. They look like this. Kind of reminds you of an old Score type of back, but it did really big, really nice photos on the back. Look at that. I mean, that's better than some of the stuff at the time. You got the facsimile signatures, autographs of these guys. But that's a really cool set that I would not have known about back in those days, and I would have loved to have had. But it's a Dempster's set out of Canada. So that was really cool. Speaking of Canada, there was a OPC set made for the 92 World Series champions. So this was the 93 OPC, and this was their Blue Jays champions set. So you got a lot of the same cast of characters, Alomar and Carter, all these great guys. Just a really cool set. There's the Jack Morris classic pose. Dave Winfield, one of my favorite all-time players. He was on that team. And Henderson was with them. I mean, they had just such a great... And here's the World Series heroes. So you can see the difference between the regular cards and these last 4. The last 4 World Series heroes, Pat Borders, Jimmy Key, Ed Sprague, and Dave Winfield. So they made kind of special cards of the guys that did something big in that World Series. Nice back with the World Series logo, 1992. So that is a really cool OPC set in 93, just celebrating the 92 championship. Really cool. I would not have known about that as a kid either. So that was, you know, that's something just very, very cool. This one here is a Donruss set, a commemorative set that is quite a few cards. This is a like 54 card set. There's 9 special ones and 45 kind of regular ones, well, including the checklist. But Donruss put out this set, and I think it's a beautiful set. Obviously, you know the guys, but really nice looking set. Really nice backs as well. You got large photos. Just really, really good looking cards. But Donruss put out this commemorative Blue Jays set. Bunch of the guys, there's Jack Morris. Bunch of the guys that made it happen. So really, really nice looking set, this one. So there's 45 cards of players and manager like this. Remember Jeff Kent was on that team? Who remembers that? I think he got traded before the playoffs. I guess he probably got a ring out of it somehow, but Jeff Kent was the backup to Roberto Alomar. And yes, Jeff Kent should be a Hall of Famer. I think he has more home runs than any second baseman ever. But Jeff Kent was on that team. Isn't that something? And there's a trophy, Sky Dome, with the needle behind it. And then the last 9 cards are these. Super cool looking. Special gold embossed cards with different highlights from the World Series. Of course, Pat Borders getting the MVP. He hit like 400 or something. Really cool backs with the bunting. Just great, great cards. Blue Jays logo. But the final 9 in that set were like that with the gold embossing. Really, really great stuff. The next set, and the last one I have in pages, was a Donruss Great Moments set. And this one was from Canada. So in Canada, or certain parts of Canada, you would have gotten packs like this. And they were great moments from 85 to 92 of the Blue Jays. 36 card set. Great moments. They got a subset of the 93 starting lineup that would go on to win the World Series again. Little did they know. And of course the checklist cards. So you had a pack like that, foil pack. And here were the regular cards. So these were Canadian McDonald's cards. Great moments. All these are great moments. There's Freddie McGriff. All these great moments from the Blue Jays over the years. There's Jack Morris. Dave Steve, no-hitter. All these guys. All kinds of great moments from Blue Jays past. So there's a set of those and a checklist, and then there's these. These are the starting 9 of 93. And boy, were they awesome. I think they ended up with like 7 or 9 All-Stars. It was just crazy how good they were. I was so excited. Molly, Alomar, Alla Rudd. Devon White was fantastic in center. Joe Carter, you name it. These guys were awesome. So those were the starting 9. So the last 9 cards of this set were those. So really, really cool. You got the great moments from up to 92, and then the 93 starting lineup that would go on and do it again. So super cool. So then 93 rolls around, and just to prove that I did like the Phillies as well, and I just loved that whole year, the whole thing. Rest in peace, Darren Daulton. I was very sad when he passed, but I loved Darren Daulton. So this was April of 93. So this was well before we knew they were going to the World Series. We've talked about how I lugged my camera everywhere and took pictures of everything. So there's a picture of Darren Dalton at the plate. Here's a ticket from that game at the Astrodome. And right here, he was very, very kind. And I brought a card to the ballpark and he signed it. So he signed that card for me at the Astrodome. That was a picture of him at the plate, and that's a ticket. Now you wonder why it's like this, where it's just like on a piece of paper. I did that as a kid when I got this stuff, and I've been professional framer and all kinds of stuff. I just never had the heart with this one to redo it, just because this is how it was. He passed on. I did throw it in this top loader because it was literally just out, you know, just taped to this piece of paper for decades. But I may end up doing it a little bit better at some point, but at this point, I don't know. But that's April of '93. Really special memory, but I haven't had the heart to take these off and make them look like I normally would make something look, you know. Next thing is also in Canada, they did McDonald's cards and they did MVP cards. So they would have come, and these are Donruss, they would have come in a pack like this. So you got 4 cards, and then you got one from the Blue Jays Gold series, what they called it. Okay, so that's what the pack would have been. These were your McDonald's MVP cards. So they had, I think most teams represented, I don't think all, but the big guys of each team, they had the MVP. There's Clemens. Shout out to Greg. There's Robin Yount, Dylan. There's Jimmy Key. So there is a Blue Jay in here. So but Larkin, all these guys. So these are cool. So they look just like the 92 Donruss cards, except for they have the McDonald's MVP logo on there. The backs look like the 92 Donruss as well, except you have the McDonald's logo here. But overall, they're the same looking cards, but these are totally unique cards. These aren't the same as those, which is super cool. So I like those in their own right, but there were special cards, as you saw on that pack, that they inserted in these Canadian McDonald's packs. And if you would recall, in '92, and I will do a bunch of big videos on Diamond Kings. I have a lot of stuff to show you and talk about. But in '92, they made these super special gold embossed gloss, no border, insert Diamond Kings. The chase thing to find that year. This one, the Ripken and the Bagwell, are some of my favorite cards of all time, hands down. But that's what a Diamond King looked like when they went from being in the set to being a special insert. And like I said, I will be talking a lot about those in the future. But they made something similar that same year in Canada that I would have never known about had the internet not come along and give us access to all these crazy cards. But they made cards similar to that. So that's what the Diamond King was. They made these. So these were virtually like Diamond Kings of that Donruss set. Now these don't have the same kind of back. These have the 92 Donruss back, just like the other cards. But the front is the same borderless. You got gold embossing. You got this kind of a banner instead of this one. But they made a very similar special insert card of some star Blue Jays. So just amazing. My goal is to get like 9s in these things too. I have a 9, I think, of Carter and an 8 of Alomar, or vice versa. I only have 2 graded, but I was just going to show you these. But there's Alomar sliding in. You got Carter there. Gruber. Nice shot of Jack Morris. Tom Hinkie and Devon White. So these were the 6 cards that they inserted, 1 per pack, in Canadian McDonald's in certain areas. So that is super cool. One other thing I wanted to talk about is And someone had said a while back that this never happened before, but it did. We had 1, 2, 3 in the batting order happen in 93 with Molitor, Alomar, and Allred. He was going for 400. He ended up hitting, what, 363 or something. But this card is super cool. And this is the Rainbow Foil Stadium Club version. Kind of got that cool looking foil. So I got this version. Now this isn't something specific to the World Series, but it's specific to that team in that year. These guys were 1, 2, 3 in the batting title on the same team. So super, super cool. And I just loved that back then. So I wanted to show that card since it kind of commemorated that. The next one, we've talked about these leather and lumber rivals before, but this one I'll drop in here because it's Molitor versus Schilling. Now Molitor in 93 was just a monster. It was him against Dykstra, man. They were just going back and forth that whole series, hitting home runs, getting hits. It was just fabulous, fabulous battle between those guys. But there's a rival from that World Series. Blue Jays versus Phillies in 93. Best World Series ever, in my humble opinion. These next ones, these are special. So these are Stadium Club World Champions, 93, okay? So these are from 2001, and there's a lot of different ones of these, but there are quite a few Blue Jays from the 93 year. So the backs look like this, okay? These are game used jerseys from the regular season, but they have the bunting look, and they're the 93 World Champions. So this is about the 93 season. It's a 2001 Stadium Club card, but I think they look awesome. So that's the Sprague. Here is the Al Leiter. These aren't super rare, but they're not super common either. But there's the Leiter. Here's the Allred. All real, game used jerseys back then. This one's actually a bat. Game used bat of Molitor. Awesome, awesome Hall of Famer. Another Hall of Famer, Roberto Alomar. Back to the jerseys. Really, really cool cards. And of course, Joe Carter. Now, this does have some dirt on it. I'm hoping that's real dirt from the game jersey and not something someone put on there, but I'm leaving it on there. I like to think he was sliding in somewhere and that just was still on the jersey. But those are super cool. Those are some of the best cards made, documenting the 93 World Series Blue Jays. These next ones are OPC that I never knew about, but these are fairly rare. These are from 94. An insert that was a World Series champions, and I really like the way these look. I'll show you the backs real quick. So that's what the back looks like. It's got a really nice gold stamp of the World Series champions, and it's 92 and 93. So they put both of them in there with the Blue Jays logo there. So very cool, but that's what they look like on the front. And it's got red foil at the bottom with their name. And you can see OPC right there. So these are some really, really cool cards. That's Sprague. Here's Pat Borders. Just really neat cards. Never would have known about these way back when, but they were making these up in Canada. And now, we have access to try to find this stuff all over the world. But Tony Fernandez, what a great, great player. Devon White, one of the best fielding center fielders of all time. Just super cool. I love the way they have the World Series champion stuff in the background. And they're all different. They're not exactly the same, the way they did the writing. There's Allred. Super awesome cards. Paul Molitor. Fantastic photos. Just great, great cards. I really, really love these. Here's Alomar. Great card. World champion, 92, 93 Blue Jays. Joe Carter. The man with the home run. And then the best one by far, and this is a valuable card. This thing goes for like 50 to 70 bucks. But not a whole lot of stuff with him on the Blue Jays, but there you go. Ricky Henderson. That is a Ricky Henderson card you do not see every day. And these are chipped up a lot without their, borders and all that. This one's a pretty clean copy. But Ricky looking like he's going to steal right there. Help the Blue Jays win a World Series. And there is an awesome, awesome, tough, pretty rare card to commemorate that. So, really, really love that one. Now we're getting down closer to the just Joe Carter home run cards. But I'll show you a few of these real quick first. Upper Deck. Of course, we keep lamenting Upper Deck being gone, but 2002 Upper Deck did a whole set of World Series heroes, and it has a lot of cards in the set. But there was a bunch of them that were for the Blue Jays. So I got all those. But there's and these are beautiful cards. I have the Nolan Ryan, I think, graded somewhere with his 69 representation. But I love the way they did the flags here. But that's Hentgen. You got Devon White. You got Allarud. You got Roberto Alomar. Great cards. You got Joe Carter. And this one's really cool. It's the same set, same type of thing. But instead of Molitor and Schilling like that other one I showed you, this is Joe Carter and Schilling. And this is a game-used Joe Carter jersey. So it's a World Series matchups. Super cool. And it talks about Game 6, 9th inning home run on the back. So that starts commemorating Joe Carter's amazing feat that he did there in that World Series. These next couple are from the Fleer Fall Classic. These are from 2003. That was Molitor and Carter. He was just amazing MVP. Carter finished it with that one swing. This talks about it. Molitor hit 500 with 2 home runs and 8 RBIs. These are numbered to 750. So not super rare, but they're not all over the place either. Serial numbered to 750. This one here is serial numbered to 1500, but it seems to be even harder to get. But these are the 2 guys ever to end a World Series with the walk-off home run. So you got Bill Mazeroski and Joe Carter, 2 of the most famous home runs ever. You got them both on one card there. Super love this card. That is just super fantastic. Absolutely love that card. And then you got just a whole slew of cards commemorating Joe Carter's home run. And I know there's even probably more out there, but you got the Topps, Golden Moments, this Fleer card, and it talks about the Game 6 home run. You got this Fleer Fall Classic. Game 6 home run. You got this Upper Deck Game 6 home run. So all this is talking about that. You got the $1 million moments from Fleer. October 23rd, 1993. 2-out, 3-run home run, Game 6. We all know the story. And this one, Upper Deck, classic moments, Game 6 walk-off homer, 10/23/93. Super cool cards. This one, I really like the way this looks. Upper Deck, all-time classics from Sweet Spot. 93, Game 6, walk-off home run. So all these cards commemorating that fabulous home run from Mr. Joe Carter. And we will continue with a few more before we end it. This one here, numbered to 199. This is the Stadium Club showing the aftermath. This is the blue refractor. So it's Stadium Club Chrome, blue refractor. That's why it's numbered to 199. But the blue with the color match with the Blue Jays, I was really happy to get this copy. But that's him celebrating, everybody lifting him up after that home run. What a moment. That was just a fantastic time. This one is Memorable Shots by Upper Deck, and they have different ones. Here's the back. But check that out. That's right after he hit it. Super cool card. Memorable Shots, Upper Deck, Joe Carter. It's got the date there. So, awesome commemorative card of the home run as well. This one, Tape Measure Heroes from Upper Deck. Piece of history. His authentic pants. And it says he would hit the second walk-off series inning homer in 93 for back-to-back titles. So that one's cool because it's commemorating that moment, but it also has a piece of the game-used pants there. This one's SP Legendary Cuts, and really, really neat looking card. So that's the back of it. There's the front. Serial number to 550, gold stamped. Really nice looking the way they did all this. Just really, really great. But, of course, it talks about the Game 6 home run. So that's another really neat card commemorating this. And then Baseball Chronology, SP Legendary Cuts. This is a gold to 550, so it's numbered to 550 as well, but super good looking card. And of course at the bottom, 1993 Blue Jays walk-off home run. Really, really, really good looking card there. But they made a jersey version, and this one isn't numbered, ironically, when the regular one, or the gold one was, but this is still gold. But look how beautiful that is. So it talks about the clinching home run, and it's just gorgeous. Really good shine. The gold really pops on this thing. This is a pretty tough card to find. I don't know how many they made, but really tough card to find. But really, really good looking card. So it's talking about the home run, and then you get the game used jersey. So that's a super, super cool card. Only 2 left, guys. This one here is another Fleer, and it's a Series of Champions card. And it's got a game used bat. So there's Joe Carter with the game used bat. Series of Champions, obviously referring to hitting that home run. But that's a really, really cool card. I like that one. And the best one is a Topps Finest card. 2022, actually. So it's not one of the older ones. But this thing is fantastic. This is a gold refractor to 50 auto. And here's the back. Of course, it talks about 93, bottom of the ninth. But check that out. Joe Carter, on card auto. He held this card. This is the gold refractor version, numbered 21 of 50, so it's numbered to 50, gold refractor standard, in its finest moments. So, talking about that moment when he hit that home run. But that's it, guys. That's my retrospective on the 92-93 Blue Jays team, with some fabulous baseball cards and some fabulous memories. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Really, really appreciate you guys watching. I hope y'all have an awesome day, and until next time, thanks.